Unique, New York. What's up, everyone? I'm Evan Olin.
And I'm Andy Large. Welcome to Tattoo Dudes.
Today on the show, we're going to be going over some awesome tips to let you know how to take the perfect photo of your finished tattoo. But first, make sure to like and subscribe so you can get more great content just like this. Let's go. So in this day and age, it is so important, more important than ever, to get the perfect photo of your tattoos. Your online presence, your portfolio, it's everything. It's how we get clients. It's how people get the word out. I mean, back in the day, it used to be just word of mouth, people actually seeing your work on other clients, when it was local. Now we've got people traveling from around the world. We've got, the internet, Instagram. It is more important than ever to get a perfect photo that really showcases your work and really does it justice. Out of your potential clientele, maybe 5% of them are actually getting to see the tattoo in person. So you really need to make sure that you capture what the tattoo really looks like, the best version of it in a photo that you can use to market yourself with later.
Totally, yeah. So today we're going to be talking about what kind of different options you can use as far as taking your photo, and then what we actually use in our own day-to-day to take the photos that you see on our Instagram and online. So yeah, we're going to get into some different options about what you can do. First and foremost, Evan and I, we use an iPhone. That's how we take a lot of our photos.
Totally. And I mean, everyone knows that you can get amazing photos if you use a DSLR, if you use a really expensive, fancy camera. That's awesome. I know a lot of artists that do that and get amazing results, but we're here to tell you that we just use our iPhones. There's a few really simple, easy tricks that you can use to really take those iPhone photos to the next level.
Yeah, and what's the difference between bringing it to the next level and going too far?
I think the biggest trick right off the bat is using a polarizer and how to understand the polarizer.
All right, so when we're talking about using CPL, we're talking about using a CPL clip, a lens that goes onto your phone, and we're talking about a clear film that goes over the light, right? So now light is going through this clear filter, the little lens that clips onto your phone, they're corresponding together, and now this is going to help to get rid of any glare and crazy shiny reflection that you would get on a freshly done tattoo.
As Andy mentioned, it really is about using the CPL lens, circular polarizing lens. It just clips right on the back of your phone, and you use that in conjunction with the polarizing film, both of which you can buy on Amazon. We're going to post a link in the bottom as well to the ones that we use. The film comes in sheets, so you're going to use it with an LED light. You can buy that on Amazon as well. You get an LED light with a tripod. A lot of times you can buy them together. We use Neewer is the brand that we use for our LED lights. And you buy that film and you can literally you have to cut it down to size and you slide it right in front of the light there.
Yeah, a good photography light will generally have a little slot for little films and different colored gels and stuff like that. So
totally.
Yeah, a good photography like that is also really
and if it doesn't, sometimes people buy the little ones that clip onto the phone, even just taping it on, but you need to use the polarizing film with the lens. They work together. And what you'll see is, when you put it on, you'll see the normal photo, the polarizer won't be activated usually, and you'll see that glare, and you literally are able to twist you'll see the lens, it rotates independently of the clip, and you'll be able to rotate it in to where you get, you see that it's almost like magic. You see the reflection, literally the glare literally disappear. That's honestly the biggest thing that most artists struggle with. You see these photos where you can barely see beautiful tattoo because it's all washed out by the light. You're trying to take a photo of something that by its very nature is wet, it's slimy, there's plasma, there's blood, and so the polarizer really is such a crucial tool, and the way that it removes that glare is like I said, it's almost like magic.
So yeah, of course, there's always the option to take a photo of your tattoo with just your iPhone with no CPL lens, and doing everything that we're talking about, getting the right kind of photography light. Now you have the film, you have the lens, and there's also some quick little tips on your phone that we use that I also think work well with the CPL lens. And If you notice on your screen when you go to take a photo, there's a little square that can lock in on a subject matter. So this also works when you're using the CPL lens. If you're taking your photo and you go and hit the little square, try to do it on the focal point of your tattoo. And if you hold your finger there and slide up and down, you can also adjust the exposure.
Yeah, I mean, that one's huge, I think. What's great about the polarizer is it lets you shine a bright light on the tattoo without getting a glare, so you can really show off all that detail, you know, in a way that you never could before, like shining a light right on it. The thing about that though is, with having a light that close to it, a lot of times your phone overexposes it. You know, you'll notice that the default comes out like kind of washed out and way too light. And so, you know, like Andy said, like you tap your finger on it and it locks in, and then you can actually slide your finger down and it will, you know, you can manually adjust that exposure and make it darker to where, you know, your blacks actually look rich and black. And I think that goes a long way towards presenting your tattoo the best.
Any little option like that you can make a little difference is even the photography light having warm and cool settings, messing with the exposure. I mean, you know, ideally you're trying to get your tattoo to be represented like it would look like if you're looking at it in the shop, right?
Totally.
So yeah, whether you can't control, you know, light in the shop or at a convention, having something like a warm and cool, or yeah, messing with the exposure. These are definitely great little tips that you can use like day to day to really notice your tattoo looking washed out, looking more professional, richer, more vibrant.
Yeah, make sure, I mean, you know, like we said, like when you first put that polarizer on, it's like, it instantly makes your tattoo look so much better. It is almost like magic, but you know, you'll find, we definitely recommend like messing with it and messing with those settings, messing with the exposure, on the light. You know, you have, usually there's a warm and cool setting you want to play with to get the white balance correct. You know, you don't want the tattoo to end up looking either too red or too cool. You know, you want to accurately represent what the colors look like. You know, you can also turn up the brightness on the light. So you kind of like, we definitely recommend like playing with
Find that balance.
Yeah, playing with like what the distance the light is from the tattoo, and then, you know, what the brightness on the light is that looks best. Because Andy mentioned earlier, like you definitely can kind of bring the light right up to the tattoo, like you can kind of overdo it too, and that's something I think you need to look out for.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than seeing a tattoo that I think looks like maybe like too hot, where the white is really just overexposed. It looks unnatural. You know, it doesn't look like that.
It almost gives the appearance of it's like Photoshop or digitally altered. When it wasn't. It was just that you had the light too bright and too close to the tattoo, and it made things look kind of uncanny and not look real.
I also think it's really important to make sure you're positioning your light in a good spot. Often when I'm taking a photo, especially using the polarizer, and I'm working my way around, because you know, you have to pan really slow because you're trying to keep it kind of coordinating with the film. Yeah. Right? I have kind of a hard time, you know, it'll fall off the polarizer. Yeah. If you're, you know, kind of not staying on the same kind of flatness.
Yeah, that's something to definitely notice, because the polarity, you know, that's why you can adjust the lens like that. The polarity of the lens has to be lined up with the polarity of the film on the light. So if you move it too much, you know, and it's in a different position, sometimes it can fall off polarity like that. So just keeping that in mind. Also, you know, along with what Andy said about paying attention when you're moving.
Catching the shadow.
Yeah, man. Like that's something to be mindful of, because, you know, oftentimes the best lighting you're gonna get is having the light kind of almost in the same place as your phone. You know, you want it to be straight on. You don't want it to be coming too much from one side where you have like a shadow. But you know, if it's literally right in front or behind your phone, like you want to make sure your phone doesn't go past right in front of the light and cast a shadow.
I do this so often, and like I don't realize it because the phone is always getting glared by the light.
Yeah.
At the back, I think I get like the best photo.
Dude, I do too. I mean, I think you know, a lot of tattoo artists know, even when you feel like you got it all figured out, like just taking a lot of photos, so that, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, you've got, at least the chances are that you've got something good are going to be better. And I think that goes for like taking photos in different lightings. You know, sometimes all the overhead light, you know, having it as dark as possible with just the one light with the polarizing film on it is best. Sometimes you want a little bit of ambient light, and that can actually kind of look better. Sometimes it almost becomes like too bright, you know, sometimes depending on the person's skin, depending on your setup, it can almost be too bright with just having the one polarized light, and it's better to have a little bit of ambient light in the background. So yeah, definitely like play around with it. Take as many different photos as you can to get that perfect shot.
Yeah, taking the time to not just, you know, go to one location that you normally take your photos. You never know if like colors are gonna look more vibrant with a little bit, like you said, ambient light coming in, maybe natural light if it's like a nice day out or it's overcast, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I still get really great photos with just, without a CPL lens, with just my phone outside, specifically like heel tattoo.
The heel tattoo, you don't have to worry about that shine, that glare as much.
Yeah, and it's cool to show the different options too, like being, you know, transparent about it and saying like, oh, here's a version of this tattoo, what it looks like outside, natural light. Yeah. You know, because when it's fresh, it's not going to get that chance, you know. So.
Totally. And I think along with, you know, what you mentioned, that's such a good thing to touch on, that patience of like having the patience, taking the time, because we've all been there where we spent like 8-9 hours, whatever, just a long ass day on a tattoo, and at the end you're just exhausted, and like your client's dying, and like everybody's just ready to get the F out of there. It's just taking the time to not only like make sure, you know, like we said, taking all these different photos and different lighting, make sure that the photo's right, but along the lines with that, take some time to let the tattoo cool off a bit. I found for me, this is like a really great tip. A lot of the things that I do last, the final touches, are also the same things that will look the most irritated and the reddest. Like putting in those white highlights at the end.
Or yellow or teal.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like it shows blood really easily. So I find, you know, if you can wait as long as possible, 20 minutes, dude, sometimes, you know, even like half an hour, you know, I'll break down, we'll just chill, like, I know, you know, it's late, everybody wants to get home, but sometimes it can make all the difference as far as getting that photo and having the whites look white, crisp, like you said, like the yellows, like having all that stuff look really sharp.
And I mean, if not just that too, I mean, go even further. If you have a client who's, you know, maybe they're traveling or maybe they're local, taking a tattoo photo the next day.
Great idea.
When is a tattoo gonna look better than having, you know, a good night of just chill? Maybe you know, you use like a derm or like a tattoo armor product where it's had a chance to weep and kind of do that. And I mean, I see lots of times where I have a client come in the next day and it just looks, you know, settled and even better than it did the night before when it left.
I agree 100%. I mean, I some of my best photos, you know, it's not always an option with everybody. People are traveling, but definitely some of the best portfolio shots that I've gotten are the morning after. You know, you've wrapped it up, like it's had time to weep, it's had time to settle, irritation goes down. If it is an option, you know, especially if you know that you're doing like a portfolio piece, maybe something to mention to your client beforehand, it definitely makes a difference when possible, for sure.
Yeah, it's a client you know is gonna run late, or maybe something new has a lot of lighted colors. Yeah, it never hurts to ask the client, you know, see if they have that availability, see if you can get that next day photo. You know, why not take that time just like, you know, going around the shop and taking other background options and just trying to be relentless about getting the best photo possible. I mean, that's really the best tip we can say is, you know, be relentless about trying to get the best photo possible.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, it's not that hard to do. Like there's some really simple little tricks and tips, but like, it really does boil down to, the polarizer is huge, having the right equipment, and you know, like Andy said, being relentless about it, making sure that you don't stop until you've got that perfect photo, trying different options, different poses, different lighting. Oh, that's another thing I thought of real quick, is just making sure that, you know, you're lined up right with the tattoo.
The leveling,
yeah, man. Like I've seen a lot of posts of tattoos where the artist just isn't in the ideal spot. Like if it's a tattoo that's below their eye line, whether it's on someone's forearm, the person's standing, and you're or it's on someone's leg or ankle, and you're looking
that's the
down
most
at
often,
it.
I feel like, is it's like on the lower calf or
Yeah,
something like that.
sit on the floor. Like
have your
get
client stand
down
on a
there,
chair if you can.
or have your client stand on a chair.
Be safe though.
Either way,
Spot
yeah.
that.
But I think the thing about having them stand on chairs, make sure they're in like a somewhat neutral, like normal position, so that it doesn't look warped or wonky.
Yeah, they're not pigeon-toed or.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as like the angles, like you want them to be in a neutral, like normal position that's as close to how it was when you put the stencil on, because you knew that was the ideal, placement for the tattoo. That's how you want the tattoo to be read. And that you're lined up. The eye line of the phone is directly parallel to the tattoo. You're not looking up or down at it.
It's matching what you were probably looking at when you were working.
Totally. Totally.
Get them up on a chair, get down and crisscross applesauce.
I mean, I feel like these are definitely like the number one tips that we think about. If there's anything else that you've thought of or is a go-to trick or tip for you, please let us know in the comments below. Like we're always trying to learn and learn new things.
Sure.
Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching.